Two, three. Welcome everybody to Two Drunk Men in a Gun Room.
Drunk dudes.
Y'all drunk
It's
dudes.
drunk dudes.
Is it drunk dudes?
Not drunk men. Drunk dudes.
Okay.
We went with dudes.
We'll start over.
You should have left it, man. That's us. All right, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Welcome everybody to Two Drunk Dudes in a Gun Room. This is Don Dunn.
And Doug Norton.
Man, you can't stop drinking a beer for a minute,
No,
can
I'm
you?
telling you.
Hey, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be discussing the things that we were expecting from transitioning out of the military versus the reality of what really happened when we transitioned out of the military. Doug, I know you transitioned after I did.
Mm-hmm.
When you was going through that, and I know it takes a while for it to go through your mind about this is really happening. You know, when you first start that out processing and you're working on your retirement packet, it really hasn't settled in that, man, I'm going to be doing something new in my life. When you got to that point, how late in the transition was it before you realized, oh, this is real?
I'd say it was probably actually 6 months before terminal leave when, like, you actually go do your resume and everything, and you actually post it.
Right.
And then that first phone call that you get that wants to set you up for an interview, you know, that's when it's like, oh, shit, it's really happening.
Yeah.
You know, even though the jobs don't pay what you expect them to pay when you do get out.
I think that's one thing all of us soldiers had when we leave is the belief that the civilian world makes so much more money.
Well, I don't know if it was that. It was just that, dude, like me, I never looked at my bank account. The money always got deposited the same time, you know, twice a month, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it wasn't until, like, the money was always there. So you had that to count on. Now, all of a sudden, that was going to go away, right? Mm-hmm. And you had to make something almost equal to what you were making to cover. I mean, that's right. if you were especially leaving the Army or military with bills, you would want that, especially if you had a family.
It was a requirement for me.
You have to make this certain amount, and then you start looking around at what you want to do or what your skills will allow you to do, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, really?
That's exactly what happened. So, when I first started thinking I was going to get out and retire, I worked at a few automotive shops on the weekends and after hours. And, I still remember one guy telling me, he asked me when I got out, he was a retired military, stayed around the Fort Stewart area. And when I was working at his shop, he said, what do you want to do when you get out of the military? I said, well, I want to own my own shop. And he said, well, I don't know what you're going to learn here. He said, but the one thing I guarantee you'll learn here is you're not going to want to own your own shop when you're done. And he was right. I realized, I don't think that's the road I want to go down. So when I started applying for diesel shop positions and I was getting entry-level wage offers,
Oh, yeah.
I think the reality set in. My mind was, crap, what am I going to do? And I went a complete different direction. You stayed in the maintenance field when you finally settled with the job that you were going to take. And I went into, I jumped headfirst into owning my own business and starting my own trucking company and hauling chemicals and, right out of the military. And, man, I got a quick taste of how you're on your own out there. That's what it comes down to, Everybody says hi, but the reality is nobody's asking if you're okay.
Oh, nobody does. No.
And I think everybody, I think the reality sets in when you come out that the brotherhood that you had in the military, you still have with your ex-military guys. But that transition to that civilian world, it becomes a dog-eat-dog world. And where we shined, based off of our PT score, our range qualification, and our skill sets, gets watered down because now nobody wants to train you for anything. You come in and, heaven forbid, if you ask the guy above you, hey, how do I do your job? Well, that's the quickest way to find yourself getting fired because now nobody wants to train you for that 2 up, 1 down mentality that we come out of the military with.
Yeah.
I get it. I guess the likelihood that somebody's going to shoot them and they're going to die and you have to take over their position rapidly is less likely. But that's, I think that happens with a lot of military guys when they start work is they feel like they're supposed to know their bosses and their bosses' positions to be good in the field that they're in.
Yes, and not like that.
No, in the civilian world, it's just do your damn job, come to work, shut the hell up, and go home.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the transition flaws. Is they teach us how to do resumes, they teach us how to shake hands and look at people in the eye, and they try to water down the word fuck to where you don't say that so much.
That doesn't happen though.
But they don't teach you what the reality is going to be when you get there.
Yeah, it's still my biggest thing. I'm going on. I'll hit 4 years at this company this year, but I'd still. There's so many times I got to try to bite my tongue because I can't say what I really want to say.
Right. Yeah.
And then even when you get a new boss and shit, you try to treat it like, okay, I'm still the fucking first sergeant kind of thing. I'm going to treat you like my damn officer or something, right? Or my commander or something.
Yeah. And
then you find out, no, we ain't clicking. So it's just, it gets difficult, and then, when you talk to the higher ups and stuff, it's like, yeah, you do have to bite your tongue or you might just find the door real quick,
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And in the Army, the truth is that everybody above you wants to know the reality of what's going on in your areas. Well, I don't think that's the case out in the civilian world either anymore. I think when you get out there, you're going to find out that they want to hear what they want to hear, and they expect you to say what they want to hear, regardless of what the reality is. that's not what they want to hear. You should have fixed it so
Right.
that the reality is what I want to hear.
Yeah. It's all about numbers.
It is.
You know, no, depending on what you do. But,
Right,
I
right.
mean, it's like they all have this one goal, and you need to meet this one goal. And they'll tell you straight up, I don't care how you meet this one goal, but that's bullshit because they do care how you meet that one goal.
Right.
They care when somebody else gets in your stuff
Yep.
that you can't
I know.
shoo
when-
away.
I know when I was driving truck, and I would talk to an agent, and we would have a disagreement. A lot of times, when they couldn't get me the information I wanted, I went straight into military mode. You know, that's not acceptable. I don't want excuses. I want this information.
Yeah.
I don't care what you got to do to get it. Accomplish the mission. That same mentality got me in trouble a couple times in the civilian world too. I remember specifically, we were running late on a load. We were supposed to drop and pick up another load, and then still deliver 300 miles away. Well, my mentality is that's my mission. I'm supposed to pick that load up and deliver it. Well, we were late, and the guy running with me couldn't make it because his hours was going to run out. Well, mine was too. But he called the agent and said, I can't do that load. I don't have the hours. So she canceled both of our loads. Man, I called that agent and chewed her ass for canceling my load. She said, but you can't do it because your hours will expire. And I said, I will accomplish the mission. That is my revenue, my money, my truck, my mission. I will. I was going to be late. Well, I did get in trouble for that one. But, at the end of the day, that's the mindset that I have. Even coming to work for you, the mindset is this is the goal, this is the numbers. I'm focused on the end goal, and a lot of times I don't get wrapped up into the little stepping stones that you're supposed to take because I run straight through that shit. Yeah, and I think the mindset that you're trained in the military, it's just hard to break that thought process.
Oh yeah. So like, they have feelings. When you get out of the army, civilians have feelings. They really do.
Yeah, I've noticed.
This applies to everywhere though.
Yeah.
Not even just work, but it's like, dude, you can say like one word. You can say fuck, and all of a sudden, like, you get these looks, and people are just like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?" Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, they won't say it because it's not a word in their vocabulary. But I'm just saying, it's hard.
Yeah.
So, but I was lucky when I first got here, or my first gig. I had a bunch of, because you walk in, you don't know what the hell you're going to run into, and in the army, at mechanics, they're a bunch of degenerates, and everything.
Oh, yeah.
They're different shit, but
Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter.
yeah. I mean, we're just shit starters, and then luckily, when I got here, I got a team that was the same way, man. They were just a bunch of damn degenerates. Instead of training to shoot people, I mean, it was they shot hogs and deer, turkey. So it was all right, man.
Yeah.
It was all right. I mean, it was a good transition for me. I mean, everybody talks shit about everybody. We still do. So,
I think as when I went into truck driving, I remember one time I delivered in Chicago, and there was a guy up there. I guess he's used to people with feelings, and he was giving me a hard time and just being a total dick. And I finally looked at him. I said, dude, you ain't got to yell at me because your life sucks. I said, I didn't tell you to fucking live here. You don't like it? Fucking move. I said, the sun does shine in other fucking places. And from that day forward, man, every time I delivered that place, that guy was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" You know, I think he just wanted to see if there was ever anybody else out there that was going to have a fucking attitude right back with him. You know, and I fucking made his day that day.
I mean, that's good though.
Yeah, but other than that, like you said, it's all, they try to talk professional and use sweetener words. You know, I laughed, you know, I've had my ass chewed in the civilian world, and it's always the same thing. You suck, but you did a good job. Well, which is it, guy? Do I suck or did I do a good job?
I didn't tell you that.
No, I know it wasn't you. But they all, they want to go with that philosophy of counseling you on what you did wrong, but reinforcing it with something positive.
I'll tell you, so far, all my guys, since I switched departments, it was they all love the 20-second rule.
Yeah, it's the way it
It's
should
like,
be.
you fuck up, you're gonna hear it from me for 20 seconds. We're gonna go about our own business after that. You know, we're gonna fucking move on. Like, you know, that's done.
Yep.
We ain't going back. We ain't moving backwards. We're going moving forward, and they'll take it, and then they'll walk out.
Yeah,
So it's worked so far.
yeah.
We'll see if I can continue that on.
Well, I mean, and I think it's a good philosophy. You know, I had a guy since I've been here. He didn't understand that rule. He felt like after I chewed his ass and then I denied his vacation, I don't know, it was like 3 days later, that I was doing it because I chewed his ass. God, that shit was over with. I forgot about that shit by the time I got off the catwalk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then I had to sit him down and rub his hair and stroke his back to make him feel better.
Really?
I
You did that?
I had to fucking show him, this is why I'm canceling your vacation. No, you can't take it because we're short. Here's the manpower listing. And I had to fucking break it all down for him.
Did it work for you?
No, he quit.
Oh.
He took vacation and never showed up again.
Oh.
But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that different though, as far as, you know, what we did in the Army. Whether you're a squad leader, platoon sergeant, first sergeant, whatever. I still feel like you know, kind of like a guidance counselor or a damn kind of like, hey, I got a vent. Can I talk to you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it still happens today.
No,
And I'll sit there and listen to anybody.
I agree. I mean,
But they might not like what I have to say after I sit there and listen to it. Because I'm going to tell them straight out.
Well,
They're asking for my opinion. I'm going to tell them my opinion.
yeah,
But I'm a totally different dude. So
you know where you stand.
I know where I stand. Or what I would do or whatever.
Right, and that's you know, one thing that hasn't transitioned. And anybody that's listening to this that's thinking about transitioning, the one thing that I can say, that mindset about if you're in charge of somebody, that you only are in charge at work, don't have that mindset, because that is what you're going to come across out here. Keep that responsibility for your soldiers or your employees when you do transition, because even to this day, when I see somebody that is normally having a good day, I can't help but to go up to him and say, "Hey, man, I've noticed these last couple of days.
It's like, what's going on?"
Yeah, is you know, I've noticed a change, and is there something going on? Believe it or not, I did this just the other day. No, about a month ago, and you know what he told me? He said, I don't know why you don't believe me. There's nothing going on in my house. He got mad at me. And I said, "Guy, I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying I've noticed that this behavior, it came suddenly. You know, things that you've told me about that's going on. I just wanted to know if there was more to it."
Well, that's just it, though, too. Like, you know, we always kind of checked up on each other, you know, throughout the times. I mean, even like, you know, like Taco showing up here 18. I ain't seen him for 18 years. And he just shows up, and then
from California to Missouri.
He just shows up, and then I mean, as soon as he got here, it kicked off like we never like separated. You know, like I seen him yesterday, kind of thing. And it was that's what the brotherhood and sisterhood we have with our fellow military, but they didn't have that in the military or civilian world though.
Well,
And they
the
kind of
training-
question that when you do those things. You know, like I can walk up to you and what's up, man? Because I know you, right? I know you, you know, since the staff sergeant. I'm just like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And you're not gonna say nothing, man. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah,
That ain't gonna happen, right?
I believe just the other day you asked me, "You taking your meds?" I've been off of them a day or two. Yeah, I mean, but you noticed a change and it brought you to ask questions. You know, I get it. I think that's the most valuable asset you can take from the military to the civilian world. You know, when it comes to a lot of these classes, man, I don't know how you felt, but when you went through all these classes, that was to transition you between, was it ACAP? I don't know what they call it now, but
Wow.
when you went out, they gave you financial classes. They gave you all this stuff, right? The small business association, SBA, comes in and talks to you about if you're wanting to open up your own business. Let me tell you something, man. I've seen so many soldiers failing there before they even got to the civilian world. You know, this mindset about getting out and opening up your own business and everything else. If you wasn't planning that 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you should not be planning that when you're three months
Three
from
months
getting
out.
out.
Yeah.
You know, there's a smarter path to that, and I watch so many soldiers fall for these buying vitamins and pyramid schemes and thinking they were opening up their own business.
All of a sudden, you know, they get out after 3 years in the Army and they start, I bought some shares to this stock,
Yeah.
and this stock. What'd you pay? Well, I put $100 down on it. It's gonna go big.
Yeah, yeah. You know, no different than what they tell you on Friday for your safety brief. Have a plan, and that
Do you still give safety briefs at work?
no.
No?
I mean, now we talk about heat.
You don't. No, I'm saying, do you like check your last day at work? Do you like say, hey, do this
No.
over the weekend?
No.
You should try that shit, man. Do that shit
I-
before anybody goes home that day. Call them all together
and give them a safety brief.
and give them a safety brief.
Should I invite Todd?
There you. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Air Force did safety briefs though, man.
We'll have to ask you.
Especially him. I don't know what the hell he did. What did he do? Don't worry about it. But that's another conversation.
I know he was a paramedic when he got out. I don't know what he did while he was in. But yeah, I mean, the mindset is definitely different. And when you walk away, the one thing that I can guarantee you is your life will be different.
Oh, definitely.
You know, I want to say, and I don't know this for a fact, but I want to say that I heard somewhere that was the highest times for suicide for veterans was during that transition.
I don't know. I know a couple buddies that I still reach out to that they actually have friends that are still suffering with PTSD and TBI and all that. And a couple of, a matter of fact, one just took his life, I think 2-3 days ago, which is sad. But I mean, it's still happening. So
Yeah.
you know, somebody's always out there to talk to, whether or not you know them or not. You know, somebody's still reaching out for you to just pick up the phone or
Hell, reach out to us.
Yeah, I mean, just reach out to our site. I ain't got no problem texting, calling, whatever. Just reach out to us.
Messenger, whatever. Yeah, I mean it don't matter. But I know for a fact whether that's a true stat or not. You know, I do know for a fact that was one of the most stressful times in my life was that transition. Everything I knew for the last 20 years was fixing to go and be reset back to day one.
Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, you spend a lifetime in the Army, all of a sudden, but it's like bam, you're starting all over in a place you had no idea.
Well, even coming here and going to work for here, when I came and interviewed for here, that was my first civilian interview. Nah, second. I interviewed for a place before I interviewed here. But that was the first time I did a lot of things. First time I tied a tie.
I didn't wear a tie. Come on.
I did. But
They didn't issue me one, so I didn't wear it.
they issued you one in the Army.
Well, I wore it when I had to.
Me too.
Well, yeah, the civilians didn't issue me the damn tie, so I wasn't going to wear it.
But, I mean, I was nervous about that whole aspect, and I even knew you here, and I was still nervous about it.
I'd be nervous too, because you would have to sit in front of me and shit. This is like the board all over again.
I felt better when I got in there and seen that the interview was like a board. At least then it did feel more like at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that interview didn't go nearly as well as the other place. The one thing we both agreed on at the end of that interview was they didn't want me and I didn't want them.
The interview went better than they not.
Yeah. Well, it depends. The first time or second time. Went pretty good the second time. Hey guys, if you're not already following our site, man, make sure you hit the like button if you're seeing this on YouTube. Download our podcast if you're listening to us. And follow us on Facebook at Salvaje Army on Facebook. Salvaje Army Official on TikTok. Yeah. Reach out, man. Tell us where you're from. We try to do a live on Facebook at least once a week. You know, we reach out, we talk to everybody. We throw back 1 or 12 drinks.
Couple drinks.
You
Not
know?
many.
We are usually not nearly as kindler and gentler on there as everywhere else, so we're not child friendly. Make sure if you're listening to one of our live events, have some headphones or something.
I'm not sure we're feelings friendly either.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Hey, but again, I thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Give us some feedback. Take care.